Hi, this is Eileen from NUS IT Security. Welcome to my talk on Cyber Literacy 101. I'll be sharing with you on what is a phishing email, followed by some real-life examples and demos on how to recognize this phishing email using some tools. Have you come across this CNA news article where police warned the public of 34 increase in phishing scam? Phishing remains as the attacker's favorite approach for cyber attack. In fact, over 80% of the cyber attacks begins with phishing email. This statistics is taken from Verizon Study 2020. Recent examples include that of SingHealth data breach, whereby the attacker first set its foothold on SingHealth network through a phishing email. It is important that we recognize phishing email and report them to the security team, so that the security team can then block this email and prevent others from accessing it immediately. What is a phishing email? Attackers often pretend to be someone you know or someone of authority, such as familiar bank, telco, airline, your boss, or even local government agency. They send you spoof email, text messages such as SMS, WhatsApp, or social media messages, and even voice system. They will ask you to visit certain websites or fill in some forms. Their aim is to trick you into providing confidential information such as your login credential, medical information, financial information, etc. Often these attackers play about with your emotions. For example, they will tell you that your account has expired, your account has been accessed, or your credit card has been used to make booking with a certain hotel, etc. I'll be sharing with you 3 tips to recognize a phishing email. Tip number 1, check the URL of the website. Tip number 2, compare the difference between the email and URL domain. Tip number 3, use a URL scanner. Almost all phishing email will have a URL. It is important to know what is a URL made up of. It is made up of the protocol, which can be HTTP or HTTPS. It has got a generic top-level domain, in this case edu for education. Other examples can include gov for government, com for commercial. It has got a country top-level domain, sg for Singapore. Can also be like my for Malaysia, au for Australia, for example. The second level domain is NUS. The subdomain is NUSIT. And a path. A path refers to the location on the server that contains this website. When you visit a banking website, do you expect the website address to begin with HTTP or HTTPS? The answer is HTTPS. It means that information you send to the server is encrypted on the fly.
How to recognize a phishing email? Remember, all phishing email will have a sender email and a URL to a website. So we can check the email and the URL to determine if they are phishing or real. Let's walk through some examples. Let me know if they are phish or real.
Example 1. The email sender is lukejohnson@gmail.com and the link to the Google document is drive-google.com. Is this a valid Google domain? We are not sure. Let's do a Google search. And we realize that the correct Google domain should be docs.google.com. And therefore, this is a phishing email.
Example 2. The email sender is noreply@efax.com, spelled as efacks.com. The link to the document is efaxhosting.com.mailrule382.co. So the domain belongs to that of mailrule382.co rather than efax. So mailrule382 tries to trick you with a similar or look-alike URL. In addition, the domain of the email is EFACKS rather than EFAX. All this tells you that this is a phishing email. Example 3. The email sender is no-reply@google.support. It states that someone has accessed your password, and the link to change your password is extremely long: myaccount.google.com-securitysettings.ml-security.org. So does this domain belongs to that of Google or that of mlsecurity.org? The answer is mlsecurity.org. We should always look at the back part of the domain. So we know that this is a phishing email because the domain belongs to that of mlsecurity rather than google.org. Besides manually checking the URL to determine if a website is safe to visit, there are also many free URL scanners out there. I've listed 3 of my favorite over here, which is relatively simple to use and informative. This website scanner will tell you if a website is a phishing site or if a website is infected with malware. Let's look at it now.
Phishtank.com provides a list of websites that has been reported as phishing. One example over here is weebly.com.
We wanted to double confirm, so we go to virus total, key in a URL, do a scan. Once the scan is completed, we notice that this website has been reported as phishing and is rather suspicious. And we go on to verify at Checkfish AI. We key in the URL. Again, we do a scan. And we notice that this website has got an IP ending at .54. And this is how the website looks like. We go down further, we notice that there were 74 phishing being reported on this IP, and that there are many domains that are associated with this IP, which is rather suspicious. I've come to the end of my talk. Thank you for staying tuned with me. Feel free to send email to me if you have any further queries.